Welcome to Financial Minds. I'm Jamie Agostino, your host. In this episode, we're taking a closer look at the team responsible for managing some of the most critical payment systems our credit unions depend on every day, our electronic funds transfer team. From wire transfers and ACH processing to emerging real-time payment solutions like FedNow, along with tools like Positive Pay, this team plays a key role in ensuring transactions move accurately, securely, and efficiently. Today, we're talking about what it takes to manage these systems, how payment technologies continue to evolve, and the important role this team plays in supporting our credit unions, as well as the members they serve. So let's get started. Let's meet our EFT team. Would each of you mind just introducing yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself and your role here at Vizzo Financial. Kristen, would you like to go first?
Yeah, thanks, Jamie, for that introduction. I think you made us sound very important. But we are an important team, so I don't want to discount that. My name's Kristen Smith. I am the Senior EFT Specialist at Vizzo. I started here in May of 2021, so I'm just shy of 5 years. I've been with the EFT department my entire time with Vizzo. And so if you've called or sent in a chat or emailed, most likely you've talked to me at some point or another. I am out of the day-to-day processing, and my role is to see the overall function of the EFT department. I've been in banking since 2013, and I've worked at other institutions from customer service to a supervisor to an assistant manager, head teller, and then most recently before Vizzo, I worked in deposit operations doing checks, reclamations, CDs and IRAs, and Positive Pay. And I think the Positive Pay experience that I had ultimately is what led me to joining the team here at Vizzo.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thanks. So, Emily, I guess we'll throw it over your way.
Okay, sure. Thank you. I'm Emily Critchfield. I'm an EFT specialist with Vizzo and my CU services. I also joined the EFT team in May of 2021, just 2 days after Kristen, so she's beating me by a few days. But I started my banking career in 2008 as a teller and took interest in office operations pretty soon thereafter. So I started getting some experience in electronic banking, back office operations like ACH and wire transfers. And over the years that has helped me work in various departments at banks and credit unions and really helped kind of solidify the fact that I really enjoy payments and help me expand my knowledge of the various payment systems and how each department is affected in the process of the payments and how we work together for the best member experience.
All right. Dominique, would you mind going next?
Oh, good morning. I'm Dominique Woodson. I started here in February 2019, so I've been with Vizzo for about 7 years. I've been in the banking industry or credit union I was with my previous credit union for 17 years in a number of roles, from head teller, branch manager, accounting clerk, and as a compliance officer. So I've done a number of roles over the years. And then when we moved back to Pennsylvania, I wanted to stay in the credit union world because I love the people helping people. So I was afraid starting with the corporate that I would miss dealing with the membership, people one-on-one, but we still get to very much help people. So I enjoy working at the corporate level and assisting our members.
All right. Wonderful. And Libby, how about you?
My turn. I'm Libby Streiches. I've been with the EFT team since August of 2024. So I'm the newest member of the team, going on a year and a half. I came to Vizzo with a background mostly in international wires and foreign exchange, but just like everybody else, I've kind of my first big girl job out of college was personal banking. I've worked in investment banking, margin services, and had never really done the ACH side of the payments world before. So it's been really cool being on the team and getting to learn that side of the business, as well as being in a credit union realm as opposed to like a big banking world. I'm enjoying that part of it as well. So, but learning a lot and love this team and happy to be here.
All right. Well, wonderful. As you guys can see, there's a lot of experience in our EFT team, but we're missing a few people here. So I know there are a few others on the EFT. Can you tell me who they are?
Yeah, so we are a team of 7. I have 6 processors on my team. We are missing Donna Braxton, and she has been with Vizzo for over 20 years. She, from my understanding, was really just a wire processor. I shouldn't say just a. She was a wire processor, and then ACH and wires merged, so she had to adjust to that and learn the ACH. And now I would say that she is like a power player in our ACH department. She does international and domestic wires, and she also does foreign checks.
Okay.
We have John Yorglovich, who just celebrated his 10-year anniversary, and he is most known in our department for Positive Pay and cash services. So if you have the Positive Pay, you have probably reached out to him, not even through our channels as a team, but directly to him. Everybody does. While some of us can also do Positive Pay, I've had conversations with credit unions that's like, is John out today? I can help you too. And while some of us can dabble in cash services, he really governs the cash service product. He is training in ACH and wires, so you might now catch him in those phone queues as well, and he is training in those areas. We have Sarah Bailey, who she is just shy of 2 years,
Okay.
and she is in our ACH, our foreign and domestic queues, and foreign checks. We are doing a huge cross-training initiative, so while not everybody is an expert in each area of EFT, I'm hoping to get everybody, they don't have to be experts, but have a knowledge of each area. So I would say we each have our own little niche that we are the strongest at. And if we can't help you in one area, there's definitely somebody on the team that can.
Okay. All right. Well, can you explain what electronic funds transfer team is responsible for and how your work supports credit unions?
I'll take that one, Jamie.
Sure.
Well, as you know, the electronic funds transfer department at Vizzo supports individual credit unions by serving as their centralized payment hub. We connect credit unions with ACH, wire, card service networks, and we batch and route their payment files and manage their daily settlement. Our services are available to credit unions of all sizes, but our corporate structure enables smaller credit unions to offer services like direct deposit, online bill pay, and recurring transfers without building that infrastructure themselves. So once they have these services with Vizzo, then you come to us, the EFT team. So we act as the back office operations, the support system. Once the services are enabled, we assist the members with disputes, returns, exceptions, and we support the shared technology platforms. We secure file transfer channels, and we help integrate with core systems. We're here for troubleshooting, support, and we help so that they can confidently deliver these modern electronic payment services to their members.
All right. Well, thank you. So last week we had the pleasure of meeting the implementation team. And so they were talking about how when a credit union decides to sign up for ACH or bill payment and getting them through the implementation phase. And then once they're ready to hand off this is the team they hand off to
Yes.
for the ACH and really supporting the credit unions, once they're live on that. So tell me, what does a typical day look like for someone on the EFT team?
All right. Like, so to further go into what I just was explaining. So a typical day for us in the EFT, we deal with, like Kristen said, we deal with the wires, the foreign items, which are international wires and foreign checks. We have the ACH, we have the PPD, we have cash services. So for them, and a few other things, that we just kind of move things like the Fed now and things like that. But a daily day, everyone jumps in and we're routing wires, exception wires through the system for wires that hit our system because they're not maybe properly formatted. So we make sure that they get to the credit union they need to get to, or we return them if we don't know exactly where to post them. We also take calls. We have 3 different boxes in our emails. We have a chat system. So we have all types of different support system for our credit unions to reach out to us. So what we would do, like if you're doing wires, you're going to assist with research of wires if they're looking for a particular wire, or they may call in because they need assistance in putting in a wire, or they may need to know how to run some type of report. They may need to know how to set up a user for the wire system. So we'll handle different calls like that. If you're in ACH, you're doing postings, you're doing research. You might be supporting the credit union in ACH, retrieving a file, looking for an ACH file, asking questions about ACH return, guidance on different rules. And we're not to specifically give that guidance or whatever. We may tell them to reach out to their payment services or direct them to the NACHA guidelines, because we don't want to be quoting something, that we're just kind of advising and helping them the best we can so that they understand where they need to go with that. Also with ACH, they may call in to set up users to get in that system. So we'll help with that. We also, if you're like your positive pay, your decisioning items, you're doing returns, things like that, cash services, you may be looking up why they didn't get a certain delivery, or helping them, if they got the wrong amounts. Again, John does more of that, but that's different thing. So during the day, it's besides our daily duties, which we're assigned, we're, on phones, we're assisting the members, we're providing that back office support. So daily day is pretty busy, we're in different systems all day, doing different things, posting, assisting, research, problem solving, but just helping our credit unions the best that we can.
All right. Okay. Well, I think we can all agree that payments move quickly, and sometimes issues may arise. So how does your team handle troubleshooting or urgent situations?
I can touch on that question. One of the benefits about having our team kind of cross-trained, we're all very aware of the time frames when files should be flowing into us. So whenever a file delay occurs, it's usually very quickly identified by our team. That prompts us to take a look at the Federal Reserve's website to see if there's any reported delays with their processes or making files available. And during that process, when we identify that there is a delay, we would be notifying our internal teams that would be getting maybe calls from our member credit unions in the meantime while we're working on identifying the issues so that it can be communicated to our member credit unions if there is a situation occurring. And we also will update. We have within EFT, we do have a service status page that when those alerts are sent out internally, we do update that page so that our membership can see if there are any possible delays in certain areas of our EFT process. And if it's going to be something that can't be remedied quickly, we do work with our marketing team to send out communications to our credit unions, and those notifications you can sign up for as well to receive those as important changes or situations arise throughout the day to keep updated on the status of any delays or anything like that. And we would make sure that we communicate back once it's resolved. And if it's something that we're communicated or contacted by a credit union that maybe has an issue with a specific time-sensitive payment, when we get those kinds of questions, we're first thinking about the type of payment that's being presented to us, and then we follow our process there. We take a look at the time of day that it is to see if there's possibly a time crunch that we need to be conscious of, if it's something related to a wire recall or maybe a return that got entered but needs to be unreleased so it doesn't get sent by mistake. Those things are, we take a look at the time of day and the processing windows and everything to see how we can best stay on top of that and help our members to get the situation taken care of as quickly as possible and for the best results to make sure payments aren't processed erroneously or delayed in any way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's an important piece, to make sure our listeners are understanding is, your team really, you've got a lot of timings that you have to make sure that you're meeting. So all of these things have certain time frames, at the Federal Reserve or within the processing windows. So you guys got to make sure that, we're hitting those time frames. And then, communication, as you said, Emily, key. So making sure that internally you guys are doing the communications necessary with the various departments all involved. And then also making sure that we're communicating with the members as well, because we know that there's impact there. So my next question, what skills or expertise are most important for someone working in the electronic funds transfer services area?
So I'll take this one, Jamie, and I like this question because I think there are a lot of different skills that would make a successful EFT specialist, and everyone on our team is very different and brings a lot of different skills to the table, which I do think makes us a very well-rounded department. But if I had to pick what I would say is most important, I think one does definitely need to be analytical, have a discerning eye, problem solving, time management, those are right up there too. So like things like understanding the NACHA rules, abiding by the rules, dissecting entries, finding errors. That's all pretty paramount when it comes to avoiding loss, mitigating risk, locating outages, correcting errors, timely resolution. I think you're going to hear the word timely a bunch more times. They're all really critical in the success of the department, as well as assisting the members and resolving their issues. I would also say, a positive attitude to being patient and just having a team spirit goes a long way. We're a small team. We have to troubleshoot a lot of large or small issues at a moment's notice, and keeping all hands on deck, keeping the work flowing. We really do rely on each other to get through the day, if and when stuff goes sideways, or even just getting through, our normal tasks, being able to rely on each other and have a second set of eyes on stuff and making sure it all gets done correctly.
All right. You said small, but we have to put small but mighty team. So
yes.
I need to add that little piece there. So how does your work ultimately help credit unions operate efficiently?
I would say, again, like the buzzwords, timeliness, efficiency, operational efficiency on our team is the cornerstone of the entire department. We always have deadlines to complete our daily work, to assist, credit unions with their requests as they arise. Things like returns, these all require us to adhere to some pretty stringent timelines. So something like a corporate return returns timely, that's going to represent, funds recouped by a credit union. The same return processed untimely, that's a loss. So efficiency is critical to satisfying, our credit unions and keeping them whole. Same thing with, doing a recall on an international wire. Efficiently processing that request might yield a better result than if there was a delay. Again, delay in processing files that result in, payments being delayed for a credit union member or paying their bills on time. So doing all of these things efficiently, doing things accurately is probably number one, but doing things efficiently comes right after that.
Yeah.
It's all got to get done.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we look at these transactions and you dive into them, I mean, these are people sending wires for their mortgage, for their first mortgage payment or their down payment or, a car payment. And, that has, significant impact on the credit union if they're not able to have that payment there efficiently. And you guys are the behind the scenes kind of making that happen on behalf of those credit unions, on behalf of those credit union members, because there's definitely significantly impact to the members. And that's what we try to avoid. So, so what's something credit unions might not realize about the complexity behind moving money electronically?
I think that employees or credit union employees or anybody listening to this that is not in EFT doesn't really know or understand. You've heard us talking about these timeframes. They don't understand the timeframes that we're under, the rules or the regulations that are governing these payment rails, and how urgent some of these delays can be. So I don't think people understand the severity of some of that. The ACH payment rail is governed by the NACHA rules, so we really have our hands tied in some ways on what we can and cannot do. I don't think everybody understands the return time frames, that you might only have 2 banking days, and by 2 banking days, it's the day that it posted and the next day to return something. And if you are out of time frame, then you're violating the rules. And that if you're doing a recall, you might only have a few reasons you can do a recall, not just because you didn't want to send it. And if you do the recall, you're violating the rules. And the posting deadlines, I have to have a file available to the credit unions by a certain time because they have to have those payments available to their members by a certain time. So I don't think that's always understood. If you have a wire, a domestic or an international wire, those are guaranteed funds. Once they're out the door, they're gone, and we can try to help you recall them, but ultimately you're in the mercy of the other institution's hands. And if they don't get debit authority, they're not sending that payment back. And international wires, they could take days for us to receive answers from, if we even receive an answer. And again, the ball is in their court. So I don't always think that people understand the finality of some of these payments. And what we can and can't do to try to recoup those funds for you. The same thing with the instant payments. I know that's new for a lot of institutions, but those are the same way. Once those are out the door, you can try to get them back, but good luck in getting them. So I don't think that people understand when we're moving money that any little error could result in a major loss. Maybe, for example, international wires, if you make one error by sending it in the wrong currency, that wire would have to be returned, and it's returned in the current market rate value. And I've seen that result in major loss for credit union members just from one tiny mistake. So I don't think people understand that accuracy is the key, and one little mistake could set you back thousands of dollars. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it really is important.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, what do you find then most rewarding about the work in this payment space?
What I love about our work is helping the credit unions learn new things. I love when I'm on a phone call with a credit union and I can show them something that maybe they didn't know before about our system, or educate them how to create a wire. We get a lot of calls, I don't do this often, or this isn't my typical job, but so and so's out, and we have to educate them. And the excitement sometimes that the credit union members get over us showing them something that makes their job easier or teaching them something new. I love the fact that Viso really puts an emphasis on our education so that we are staying up to date on the payment systems. Viso allows us to go to conferences, so you probably have seen our face at some of those, or you may see our faces at upcoming conferences. We have education packages where we can really be learning about our specific roles and what's going on in the payment world. So I just love the education piece of our daily work.
Okay. All right. Well, any final thoughts?
Oh, I was going to say, does anybody else want to chime in with what
Yeah.
they find rewarding about their role? Or
I would just say I really enjoy when I have an opportunity to help someone, and I get a chance to do that every day, and that is very very close to home for me. When as I used to do ACH processing actually for one of our member credit unions, and the EFT team was a team that I reached out to often for support whenever I was processing. And as mentioned, Donna's been here for more than 20 years, so I talked to her many times when I was doing processing, and everybody that I talked to was just extremely helpful and knowledgeable. And I was really excited when I saw an opportunity to join the team. And it just having that experience, I guess, gives me an understanding of how many hats credit unions employees tend to wear. They might not just be dealing with ACH. So just taking that time to really listen to someone, what they're dealing with, what their time restraints and everything are, and just kind of letting them express what's happening and helping them through it. And of course, also mentioning what Kristen said, taking an opportunity to show them something that make things easier for them in the future, or learning something together. Each call is an opportunity to learn something new. Even if it's something I don't know, I get a chance to research it and find out, so I can add that to my tool belt.
All right. Any other final comments anyone would like to share with our audience about how your roles help credit unions succeed?
I would just let the credit unions know that earlier you said that you had met with implementation last week, and implementation does a great job of training our credit unions before they get to us, and marketing has resources out on Zephyr for the credit unions on our functions. But I just would like the credit unions to know that my team is here anytime. Yes, you have those resources, but don't be afraid to pick up the phone. I hear credit unions say, like, oh, I'm sorry to bug you. I have people that call in very frequently. I feel like maybe we're friends now because I talk to them every day. But I don't ever want a credit union to think they're bugging us. That is our job. That's what we're here for. We are here to offer support to the credit unions. So utilize us. That's what we're here for.
All right. All right. So As you can tell, listening here today, payments are at the heart of modern financial services and the systems that move money every day. They require expertise. They require precision and constant attention. Our EFT transfer team plays a critical role ensuring that wires, transactions, real-time payments, they move smoothly and securely. Their work helps powers the infrastructure that credit unions rely on to support their members and keeping financial transactions flowing. So thank you to the EFT team for joining me today. But I also need to thank our sponsor, which is our instant payment service, for sponsoring today's episode. Your credit union's instant payments journey is just beginning, and Viso Financial is here to help you get started. The FedNow service is the newest solution to join the real-time instant payments rail. The instant payments rail works by initiating and settling payments within seconds through a technology-driven back-end process. Get started today by contacting your Viso Financial corporate account manager. As always, thanks for listening, and join me again next week as we continue to spotlight the teams that help accelerate credit union success. Don't forget to subscribe and make it a great day.